Hello everyone, Ladislas Moyes from thewanderinginvestor.com. So today I'm in beautiful Becici near Budva in Montenegro with charming Ksenija. Ksenija, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. Hello everyone, nice to have you here again.
Yes, so we are going to go to an apartment. We're gonna have a look at it. We're gonna do all of the numbers in terms of expected rental income on Airbnb per month, occupancy rates, and all of the costs to really get realistic numbers in terms of rental yields here in Montenegro. So before we go see the apartment, can you tell us a little bit about why here, Becici, near Budva?
For all of those who haven't been to Montenegro or haven't visited still Becici, Becici is part of Budva Riviera and it's only 5 minutes drive from city of Budva. But what makes it really unique is that here you have one of the cleanest beaches, which was also pronounced, got award for one of the cleanest beaches in Europe, where you have the promenade going from old town of Budva up to the end of Becici beach. This is more like a family place. People who like to spend, usually they stay not less than 7 days, up to 14 days, depending. Where they like to spend time, have their own peace. They have the beach very close by. They can walk. We have really nice restaurants on the promenade. One of them who actually have generations running them for years and years. Usually domestic food and fish that is freshly caught. So it's also an amazing place because you have hotels, also hotel infrastructure, which is quite rich.
And beautiful places like this. I mean, here we're on a little hill right next to the beach. There's a beautiful little Orthodox church. We just had beers. I guess this belongs to the Orthodox church, the bar here, because it's on their land. So they're selling beer. So it's really lovely, really peaceful. I like it a lot. But I think the apartment that we're going to look at, how much is it being sold for?
It's 295,000 euros. It's 108 square meters and with the garage space included in the price.
Which is really important in Montenegro because parking is an issue, and this is a relatively big apartment, so 3 bedrooms,
quite
right?
Spacious, 3 bedrooms.
So generally, if you buy a studio or 1 bedroom, you can get away with not having a parking space because people fly in, a lot of people, or just traveling around. But once you start going into bigger apartments, you definitely need at least a parking spot. And here parking is complicated, so that's a plus. But I think what's going to be interesting about this is not necessarily the apartment itself. This is not a video about pitching an apartment, but rather about a case study. You'll see the apartment. It's a bit underwhelming when you see it. But what is really interesting is the fact that the space is being completely underutilized. We'll be doing all the numbers in terms of what the ROI is now. Then we'll have a discussion around everything that can be improved to increase the ROI. And we'll be highlighting some of the risks as well in terms of the property.
Why we decided actually to show this apartment, because it's, besides the fact that it's quite spacious, it's actually a very unique location because you don't get to see a lot of residential properties on sale on this kind of location, literally seafront. So you have, you saw, 4 minutes to the beach.
Yeah.
And it has quite a potential with a bit of investment in order to furnish it nicely. It is quite investment potential.
Cool. So we're going to go there, do all of the numbers, look at the pros, the cons. Personally, it's not a purchase I would make as an investment, and we'll see why when we highlight some of the risk. But again, this is more for people who are looking to invest in Montenegro and who just want to be able to see a case study of looking at an apartment in a critical manner, doing realistic numbers, and being more ready for when they want to make an investment here in Montenegro. All right, fantastic.
Yeah, let's go.
So here we are. All right, so this is the building here. I think let's do a little exercise. Let's look at all the cars, see where they're from. This is a good indication. Bosnia, Serbia, so a lot of local regional tourism. Germany, Nice Land Cruiser from Moscow, Russia. This is RO, this is Romania. Nice Porsche from Belarus, Serbia, Bosnia, and Serbia. So essentially, this is pretty representative. Most tourism around here is from the Balkans, with some Westerners as well, and some wealthy people from Russia, Belarus, and Ukraine. So people just escaping the troubles and who can afford to. All right, so let's go have a look at the apartment.
Let's do this. Welcome.
Cool, fantastic. So we'll just have a look at the apartment now.
Okay.
Again, this is not a channel that does property tours, but what we want to do is to just look at the apartment, and then we'll do all of the numbers in detail in terms of the ROI, how much we can earn on Airbnb per month, all the costs, etc. So this is the main room, right?
This is the living room together with the dining room. We have here a kitchen, which is separate.
Okay, separate kitchen, huh? Interesting. Okay.
This is the balcony, offering the full sea view.
Yeah, okay.
It's quite spacious, the terrace as well.
Yeah. Beautiful view, eh?
Yeah,
Amazing.
this is also the view on the church.
Oh, yeah.
And
the monastery right here, beautiful.
the monastery, yeah.
Cool. And private, no one can really see here.
Yeah,
There's
it's
some
a
neighbors.
bit kind of, how to say, secluded. You don't have
But-
anyone like
Yeah.
looking directly in your
Okay.
terrace, which is good. And also we have the separate terrace
Okay.
from the bedrooms. So we're gonna go there now.
Okay, so this looks like a future construction site to me. What about the risk of this here, this being built?
It hasn't been even in plans in a few years, and it's definitely very hard. It's very restricted area to do here, so they will require a lot of. It's a risk, let's say, but it's not going to certainly happen in a few years, and it's a question whether the country architect will allow some bigger construction in this area.
Okay. All right. So, okay, so there is a bit of a risk here. I mean, I think eventually someone will. Here, definitely there, that parking lot here, maybe. Okay, cool. Let's go inside. So it's a 3-bedroom apartment, right?
Yes, the apartment is actually quite spacious. Here we have 1 bedroom.
Gosh, this is underutilized, only a
We
single
have
bed.
single beds,
Yeah.
where it can definitely be added 1 more bed. We have here the bathroom.
Cool. Yeah,
One.
I think Ksenija, you'll have a bit later in
Yeah,
the video. We'll after the numbers. I think you'll elaborate on the recommendations you would have in terms of how
this
to
is the second
maximize.
bedroom, which also needs to be added a bed, and this is let's say the master bedroom, where
Yeah.
we have a separate bathroom dedicated for this room.
Okay. All right. All right. There's in this part of the world you often see showers like this. Can't say I'm a big fan. They're not cheap, but people somehow like to invest in these things. Yeah, I just remove that for sure. Okay,
And there's
cool.
also the balcony from the bedroom,
Okay.
also with the sea view.
Okay, cool. For now, yeah. Okay, cool, fantastic. So let's sit down and do all of the numbers in detail. So what we did is Ksenija's team also has a whole Airbnb management unit. How many Airbnbs do you guys manage, roughly?
Well, more than 150.
Okay, cool.
units.
So you guys have a lot of data, etc.
Yeah.
We took our data, we made estimates for the apartment as is from a conservative point of view. So essentially whatever the Airbnb management team gave us, we actually lowered the numbers just to be on the safe side.
Yeah.
So can you tell us about essentially how much we can expect to earn per month, roughly the occupancy rate per month, how you do the numbers, etc.
So what we have here is our estimation on a yearly basis, how much you can expect in the season. So we're talking about short-term renting, which starts from May to October. And then we separate...
So you're saying 6 months of peak season, essentially, and then the rest is slower.
Yes, the less is slower, and we can here count on renting it out of the season on a monthly basis. But basically the peak of the season we are talking about from May to October. Of course, the occupancy in May is slightly less. We're talking about 60%. In June, it's already going up to 80%. And here you can see also that the price is going up. So in the June, we are talking about 165 euros as a nightly price. And as the occupancy also is going higher, in July, we have 95% occupancy rate, and the numbers for July and August, we're talking about 220 per night.
So just as a bit of background, 95% occupancy rate does sound quite high, but the reality is we're frontline right next to the beach. So yes, essentially this apartment will be busy all the time.
Because it's premium location. Here we also calculated September, where we have also quite a lot of tourists. It's definitely less than in August, but it's still a season here, and the weather basically until the end of the September it's quite warm. Yeah. October as well, depending of course on the climate, but generally first half of the October is quite nice. So we expect, as we put here, 50% occupancy rate in that period.
Cool. So I think let's also discuss the price. So you said 295,000 euros for this 3-bedroom apartment, as is, including the furniture. What are typically the extra costs, buying costs, closing costs that investors have here in Montenegro? So in terms of taxes, lawyers, etc.
So since this is a pre-owned property by a physical entity, we are talking about 3% real estate transfer tax that you need to pay. If you're buying the newly developed, you don't pay the tax, but here the tax is applicable. So the 3% tax, and then on top of this there are notary costs, which is from 500 up to 600 euros per contract, translation, on top of it 50 euros per an oral translator during the signing of the contract, and then if you want to have, it's not obligatory, the written translation of the contract, which is around 250 euros. This is basically the necessary things.
And a lawyer.
A lawyer, or also services of our company, which is on top of this if you want help with paying the tax, registering the property, changing the electricity bills, utility bills on your name. This is 500 euros on top of it. So we're talking about 1,500
extra costs.
Euros extra costs, exactly.
Cool. I mean, 295 extra costs of like 4%. I would just keep the price as 295, because the reality is you can always negotiate here in Montenegro. This would be negotiating 4%. Generally in Montenegro, it's quite standard for pre-owned property to negotiate 5% or so. So just in the numbers, we'll keep the 295, which is relatively conservative for the apartment as is. So can you tell us about the low season? Mm-hmm.
So we put here 6 months, from November actually to May, because we have quite a lot of people also coming here out of the season, so during the year to spend here time for a month or two, to get away from big cities, from again cold winters, depending from where people come, but here it's Mediterranean climate, so people even during the winter time can enjoy spending time here on the balcony, sitting outside, or even on the beach, in the cafe, working online. We have, especially in the last few years after COVID, quite a lot of digital nomads. And
I think that's really important. I'll hop onto this, because also a big catalyst for digital nomads coming here off season is a lot of North Americans, Canadians, Australians, New Zealanders, UK people as well, like to spend time in the European Union within the Schengen zone, but they are essentially limited to 2 times 90 days per year. So what a lot of people did before was they would spend 3 months in Italy or Spain or wherever, and then they would come down to Croatia, hang out in Croatia for 3 months, and then go back. So that their numbers would, kind of recharge. Now that Croatia has entered the Schengen zone, that is not a possibility anymore. So what we're seeing here is an increasing amount of North American, UK, Australian digital nomads who come to Montenegro for a few months to recharge their Schengen days and then go back. Because when you actually look at the opportunities to be in Europe, outside of Schengen, but close to Schengen, there aren't that many possibilities. So it's been a real boon for real estate in the low season for Montenegro.
Yeah, we have here the price of 750 euros per month, though in my opinion it is also something that is pessimistic because this is quite spacious. I mean, 108 square meters apartment with 3 bed, with this location, with these views. So
her team had put 1,000 euros a month for the numbers. I just wanted to put it less because I want to account for personal usage as well. I mean, the reality is if you have an apartment in Montenegro, you want to spend time here. A 1-bedroom apartment, for example, in Tivat on a not frontline at all, is roughly 600-700 euros a month for a year-long contract. This would just be low season for a 3-bedroom frontline. It's a bit cheaper than Tivat, but still, 750, that's way too low. But I want to account for personal usage. But then, and also we'll discuss for personal usage, I think that a lot of people watching this are not impressed with the inside of the apartment, but then we'll discuss that afterwards. So here it's just really the numbers for the apartment as is. You don't really change anything and you just put it on the market, but we can definitely optimize it. What we have to see here is the amount of space, the relatively low cost per square meter for something that is frontline with a nice terrace. Okay, so what about your fee for managing the Airbnb?
So our fee is 30% from the revenue. What this includes, it's managing the property, promoting it on Booking, Airbnb, Expedia. We also have quite a big database of our clients who are coming, who are returning, who are also coming for purchase purposes. So they're also being placed in this accommodation that we offer. Then it's also check-in, check-out of the guests, cleaning after them, before them. Also,
cool. Everything
basically.
Okay.
You don't
and
have
taxes
to think,
and blah blah all
everything,
of that. Okay, cool. What about the actual cost? Because I think that this is interesting. The carry costs of property of real estate here in Montenegro are very low. So I mean, we're going through the numbers. I could barely believe it. The HOA or the common charges of the apartment for the building are how much per month?
20 cents per square meter per month.
So in total?
We are talking about 21.6 euros per month.
Cool. So less than $25 per month for the HOA for this apartment. Imagine in the US, etc., how much more that would be. But yeah, $25 of HOA per month. So really low. Then again, there's no elevator, there's no swimming pool, all of that. But still, it's incredibly low.
Yeah. Adding up on that, we also have the utilities, like electricity, which is 55 euros per month. Water consumption, 25 euros. Trash collection, 5 euros. Internet, 30 euros. So it's also quite affordable comparing to any European countries, in my opinion.
It's amongst the most affordable utilities in the world, really. It's hard to find in Europe cheaper than that, apart from, I don't know, Bosnia maybe. But even when you go to Latin America, for example, the costs are a lot higher for electricity, etc. Montenegro produces a lot of electricity of its own through hydro. It's got like a huge dam and exports electricity as well. So electricity is generally very affordable in Montenegro. What about the property tax?
Property tax is also around 0.25% up to 0.5%, but here approximately we can expect 800 euros per year on this apartment.
Relatively low. And in terms of how much would you budget for just maintenance when something goes wrong, you guys need to call the plumber, or I don't know, there's like a leak or something?
Here we have something that is let's say realistic, around 700 euros. But in general, we also take deposits from our clients. So in case people, before they enter, we take a deposit, and if something gets broken, this deposit is used for purposes of repairing it.
It's also one of the issues of frontline property. It's people go swimming and then they come back, they're still wet, they sit everywhere. The couches get dirty. I see here there's some cigarette burns on the couches. So, when you go into holiday rentals, like specifically really beach frontline holiday rentals, you do have a bit more maintenance. I mean, you say you get the deposit, but is the cleaning lady going to notice every single issue? No, the reality is wear and tear is a bit higher than it usually would be.
The good thing is that we have our rental managers who are constantly on the field, and they are the ones checking the property before guests are entering and after they're exiting. So
cool. So essentially, in terms of net rental income, when we take this net rental income after all the costs, etc., pre-tax, we are at, I see, 5.5% net. And in there, again, the numbers are conservative, one, and two, there's also private usage. So you would have the apartment for a few weeks every year, and you'd still be earning that money. So these were the numbers for the apartment as is, with the furniture, etc. Personally, I'm not a fan of it. Of rather the current state of the apartment. I like the space of the apartment. I like the location. But my issue here is that the current owners were absolutely underutilizing the space. What they have here is what is objectively a premium location, but inside the renovation is completely mid. So having premium location with a very, actually not even mid, a bit underwhelming renovation is a waste of potential and money. So we were having a discussion a bit earlier with Ksenija about this. So Ksenija, what would you recommend to your investors in terms of what they could potentially do here? Actually, I'm going to grab the camera and just just show us around what you would do, what you think people should do so that they can maximize rental income. So 5.5 is essentially the base. But what would you recommend that people do?
In order to make it more appealing for especially, let's say, premium clients who we want to attract eventually with the first line property, I would definitely, first thing I would suggest is putting a jacuzzi here on the terrace.
Okay. I like
From this position is quite good because you're here a bit secluded.
Yeah,
you still have the amazing view.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine drinking a glass of wine, enjoying the views, and no one is again looking directly.
And again, so you're in the jacuzzi, you're here. The building here, they don't see you, so you have privacy. The other building is really too far.
Overlooking the Sveti Stefan as well, the island, and the views are quite amazing.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's Sveti Stefan down there. I didn't even notice. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, cool.
So this would be one suggestion I would definitely...
Yeah, it would look great on Airbnb. And like redo the towels.
Redo a bit, put also some furniture, nice, maybe some couch here and small table.
Okay.
Definitely.
Cool, okay. Yeah, like because right now, these pictures here on Airbnb is literally just about, look, this is the view, this is the location, and then this is the amount of bedrooms, and that's it. But there's... Like here we can actually make a very cool listing, and the jacuzzi I am sure will have a fast ROI because it'll be unique.
It's not actually
people don't do this a lot, right?
Yeah, it's not
so
actually often.
You manage 150 units. How many jacuzzis do you have?
I think I know for one for sure. Maybe we have the other one, but actually no one is doing it. It's not so much common here in general, but it's who does it, it is quite a boom. And it's not so much a big investment that you do, but it will bring you much more. So I think there's a lot of potential here in this place. Yeah,
like a jacuzzi, I think a 4-place jacuzzi here, put a little bit of wood or something, or PLC,
a little bit
PVC,
of here
redo
as well.
the towels. I mean, you might be looking at like 8,000 or 9,000 euros potentially. I don't know, but cool.
So here we have the living room. Obviously here we don't have now a TV, but we will definitely put a big couch, nice dining table.
Yeah, this couch is just unacceptable. This couch is unacceptable. Okay.
And we have here a separate kitchen. This was done before like this. However, now usually people prefer open plan.
Yeah.
So this wall can be removed.
Gone. This thing needs to go for sure. And just like stuff like, you see, sometimes I wonder how people make investment decisions. I mean, again, look at this view and then look at this like $20 table. I mean, like, you know, and the chair, I was sitting a bit weird. I mean, sorry, I hope the owner won't see this video. I'm like crapping on the thing. The chair is essentially just broken. Yeah, okay, cool,
So
let's
just
continue.
with the more nicer, let's say, designed table and the furniture, we can do it pretty good. Here, what we can do, just put an additional single bed.
Yeah, 2 single beds.
It will be like a kid's room or...
Yeah, 2 single bed, yeah.
Here we have the bathroom, which you mentioned before. We have this kind of shower, which again was preference of the previous owners and maybe something that was before more popular, but now shower cabins, the basic ones are being done, which also take less space. So it's again something that you can change.
Shower, for sure. The rest is, I mean, yeah, this needs a bit of this. I'd kind of redo the shower, yeah. I wouldn't do everything to optimize, really.
Because the quality actually of these is actually good.
Yeah. I wouldn't do everything. I'd be very selective to try to manage spend. I wouldn't do a full revamp of this bathroom. I would just be very selective. Like the toilet's all right, the bidet, whatever, it can stay here. The shower needs to change. Here, a few things need to change. Yeah, okay, cool.
And we have here a room that is not currently used at all, but we can definitely put here a double bed.
Yeah, for sure.
And one cabin as well.
And like here, you can just tell how the mattress has been like used and is old and like...
Change the bed.
Yeah.
Here and if needed to put maybe a TV, but it depends again what people prefer. It's not...
It's like $200-300 euros, you put a TV, like people are happy, yeah.
Again, the same thing with this bathroom, which
Cool.
is again also very spacious.
Yeah. Like
for being a second
again,
bathroom.
Like, the walls are not awful. The floor is
the-
kind of decent. This is
quite
just
decent.
this needs to go. This piece of furniture kind of all rightish. I mean, maybe the light. Yeah, I mean, it's just look. It's really about trying to optimize this listing because the fundamentals are good. We're looking at less than, I don't know, like 2,800 euros a square meter for front line. Yeah, like 5.5 rented as is. I mean, obviously with a bed there in the room when there's no bed, clearly the bed just disappeared because they're trying to sell the units. So Ksenija, so for your investors, you can help them source a property, do all of the numbers, the analysis, and then recommend renovations, and then your team can then go ahead with the renovations, and then you list it on Airbnb, you take care of everything essentially.
Exactly.
Okay.
We take care fully of your property, so you even don't have to be here.
Okay.
We can do it also everything online.
Okay, cool. Look, I always recommend people to, if they're going to invest a significant amount of money, like, I mean, this apartment represents for most people a decent amount of capital. Come to Montenegro, come to the country where you plan on making an investment, have a look at various apartments, then make your decision. But it's always important to see what you're investing in. It's always the preferred way of operating. But yes, it's possible through power of attorney to buy real estate remotely. I've done it myself in the past before, bought real estate remotely without seeing it, but I don't like recommending it to people. Okay, so I wrote a whole article as well on the real estate investment market here in Montenegro in terms of all the different cities, the mistakes you should avoid making when investing here, etc. So there is a link below to this article. And if you want to get in touch with charming Ksenija, there is her email right below. Ksenija, always a pleasure. Thank you very much.
A pleasure, thank you.
Make sure to download my free ebook, 12 Mistakes to Avoid When Investing in International Real Estate, which you can find on my website, link below. And feel free to follow me on Instagram @TheWandering Investor. I look forward to hearing from you.